All right, thank you, friends. I hope that you had a great lunch and was able to fellowship and reconnect with one another. I got a new gavel. I went to the African American clergy women's lunch, uh, and I got to make a choice whether I throw the old one away and keep the new one. But I'm great. I'm actually I can keep both of them. I'm grateful for them and just to hear their story. It was a great time. So thank you for coming back. We're ready to continue our work. And right now, we're going to call on Aldersgate, Kim Thomas. Thank you, Kim.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kim Thomas, and I'm the Executive Director at Aldersgate Special Needs Ministry. And I just wanted to take a few minutes of y'all's time today to kind of share with you about our ministry and what we do. How many of y'all out here have heard of our ministry? Just kind of a show of hands. Woo, this is good. All right. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. So our ministry, for those of you that may not know, started in 2003. The conference, United Methodist Conference here in South Carolina, decided that we did need an alternative for our people with special needs. We had an outpouring of parents that had kids that were aging, that wanted to have a place for their kids when they no longer could care for them. And so the United Methodist Church here agreed that there was a need, and we started our ministry. And we didn't start our first group homes until 2009, and in 2009 we opened homes in Florence or Orangeburg and in Columbia. And thanks to Epworth for donating land to us so that we could actually build our first house. And then in Orangeburg, we built a home at the Methodist Oaks Retirement Community, and they donated property to us. So that was our beginning. And then in 2016, a generous donor at the Methodist Manor actually gave us funds to build a house there. And we are just incredibly blessed. We've grown from 2016, having 3 houses that serve people with autism and intellectual disabilities to now having 7 homes. So God has been very good to us, and thank you so much. And we could not do what we do without your support. So many of y'all are starting to learn more about our ministry and are sharing with your congregation what we do. And so I would encourage you to please consider, asking me or one of our board members to come and speak at your church. If you have families in your church that have, aging kids with special needs, send them our way because we want to help. That's why we're here. We are the only provider in South Carolina that offers a Christian home for people with special needs. And that's what sets us apart. And our guys and girls, they are very engaged in their communities, in the churches. And thanks to you all, you've accepted our people, you've welcomed them, like Shandon Methodist has been fantastic to our ladies. Let's see, who else? Central United has been very, very great as well as far as embracing our people. And what I would like to ask from you all is not necessarily donations. Donations are great and we appreciate them, but the main thing I would like to ask is that you all pray. Pray for our ministry. Pray that God will continue to bless us with what we need to open more homes, because the need is large. There are so many people with special needs that have parents that are aging. There's over, right now, I think over 7,000 people in South Carolina that have parents over the age of 70 that are going to need a place to live. And we want to be that place that can offer a home of undisturbed places of rest for our people. That's why we're here. And I thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for supporting our ministry. And please, send people our way. If you have people in your congregation, we want to help. So any questions, we're going to be here today and tomorrow. We're going to be hosting a hospitality room. So please come by and visit us, and I'll be happy to talk to you in more detail about where we're expanding. As I told you, we've had a lot of growth, but we're going to grow here in the upstate as well. We have plans to work with a Christian builder up here to expand into the upstate. And we have some wonderful people that have donated houses. So we're going to be having more homes probably in the Midlands area as well. So please, continue to pray for us. And if there's anything we can do to help you in your congregations, please let us know. And thank you for what all of y'all do. I know it's been a trying time, and I just want to say that I'm thankful for you and for allowing us to be a part of the United Methodist Conference here in South Carolina. So thank you. God bless. Yes, and our hospitality, thank you. Our hospitality suite is room 202C. So come and see us, okay? And we'll be here today and tomorrow.
All
Thank
right, thank
y'all.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bless
you
y'all.
for the
Thank you.
report. All right, thank you for that. At this time, we're going to call on the Committee on Council on Finance and Administration. Now, I do know that there will probably be some amendments to this budget if I'm thinking it straight. That's the way budgets always go. We're going to ask you to send those in. We're not making those amendments. This is for information at this point. And we will present the report to vote on it. When is that coming up? Wednesday. So if you got amendments, just write them, make sure we get them, and then we'll vote on the report Wednesday. Today is information only. CF&A needs to receive them and CF&A is going to need to receive them. So we need to get those to them. If there are those out there floating around, we need to make sure they get in. Brother Smith, thank you so much for your work on this committee and your team. So we're ready to receive your report, sir. Your report.
I'm looking to see if Beth is there. Oh, you're way back there, Beth. Bishop Farley, Ms. Farley, lay clergy delegates, as president of the Conference Council on Finance and Administration, I'm joined at the podium or on stage by retired elder Sarah White, who is also a member of CF&A and chairperson of the Budget Subcommittee. Before I start, I want to be, for those who have your packet, you do, I'm sure, Section 7, page 146. Page 146 is where our report starts. Really, first and foremost, I want to express our sincere thanks to all United Methodists in South Carolina for the conference for your generosity in 2014. Given the uncertainties and the challenges facing our churches and the conference as a whole, we are most grateful and thankful and appreciative that you achieved a 90.54% collection rate on apportionment giving for 2024. I think, give yourselves a hand for that, please. The Columbia, we'll recognize them on Wednesday, but I will just say that the Columbia District collected the highest percentage of apportionments and they will get where's Frank? There you are. We'll get the recognition certainly due to you on Wednesday when we submit the report for vote. I'm confident in saying that we are in the midst of unprecedented times in the life of our conference, and especially so as your CF&A labored to prepare both an effective and a fiscally responsible budget for funding the conference's ministry and missional needs in 2026. We want to thank the ministry leaders who responded to our invitation to present their 2026 budget request to the council, and for their willingly and voluntarily prioritizing their missional needs, utilizing their available revenue reserves, using their available reserves and acknowledging the current budget constraints. Also, I remain constantly grateful for the devotion of every lay and clergy member of the council, and I'm especially appreciative to Sarah and the members of her budget subcommittee. I feel certain that no prior council has spent the number of hours as have these faithful members by attending, listening, debating, compromising, and assessing priorities, and yes, praying. Praying that our decisions would confirm today's realities, and praying that we are confirming God's will for maintaining the financial stability of our beloved conference. Before I turn to Sarah, we especially want to recognize the professional and devoted service of Beth Westbury, your conference treasurer and director of administrative services. Beth and her ever-present laptop. You do have it today? Yes, she's got her laptop. Pardon? I was just saying, you and your ever-present laptop, and I was making sure you have your laptop. That's the conference finances in that laptop. They are our lifeline to the conference's financial data. And during the course of any CF&A meeting, she is called on to analyze, to project, to revise, to assume changing situations again. Then I would probably say, and revise again. We also acknowledge the capable support the Treasurer's Office provides to the local churches, the district offices, and to the conference center. At this time, I'm going to ask Sarah to just go over and review the budget as we are recommending in our report.
Good afternoon. Smith has called you to page 146 in section 7, which contains the introduction to the budget and the report of CF&A, report number 1, report number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the breakdowns of the different conference askings that are part of this budget. Also a part of the budget are those monies apportioned to our annual conference by the general conference. On page 153 of section 7 is the presentation of the complete budget, containing the information contained in those prior reports. I want to call your attention to the videos that were prepared and that are a part of the conference website that go through those reports one by one to share information with you. And I also call your attention to the written work here that speaks to the particulars of each of these greater. As we look to report number 9, I go back to Smith's words in his introduction to remind us of the targets that we try to hit as we prepare this budget. It is a target of the annual conference that we would be able to decrease the percentage of apportionment askings. And this year we were able to do this. The recommended budget for 2026 has a reduction of 1.3 million some dollars compared to 2025 and is estimated to be 11.76% of the average net funds that your local churches presented to the annual conference. Having absorbed that, on report number 9, you see that we are recommending a budget of $10,346,567. In addition, we are recommending that we continue the rebates that were presented in last year's recommendation of $800,000, which means that we will be apportioning a budget of $9,546,567. Bishop, this is before the annual conference.
All right. Thank you.
Again, please take the time for the vote on Wednesday to, you don't need to watch the video necessarily, but now that you have the full report in front of you, please read it. And I think much of it is self-explanatory, but we obviously will be available to answer your questions. Bishop Farley, this concludes CF&A's presentation. And at this time, we offer our report for information purposes and look forward to presenting it to the conference floor for discussion and vote on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, but don't go anywhere. They can't make amendments to it, but they can ask questions. So if there are any questions out there, we have one here. Microphone number 4, please.
Reverend Matthew Alexander, Elder Orangeburg District. I just had a point of clarification. Could you give us a general idea of how we came about determining the marked targets for reducing the budget? I know many of us saw that we lost, 5% or 20% or so of our churches last year, and curious as to what metrics we used, just for information's sake.
The net funds are the baseline for the apportionment askings. So when you have a reduction in churches, you have a reduction in funds reported to the annual conference because you have fewer churches spending fewer dollars. And thus the budget itself is affected. And the way that this reduction is presented reflects the reality of loss in this past 12 months and in the prior year as well. Yeah, sure.
Oh, did they cut you off
There we
already?
go. Okay, yeah. So I guess my question is really about a weighted average or something like this, because we know that one-to-one, not every church's apportionment is the same.
Right.
How did we come up with the 11% amount, and how does that connect with the loss of revenue from the different churches that have left? And I imagine many of us are aware that we lost some pretty significant apportionment contributors, and so it seemed like that percentage would not just be a one-to-one. So you help us think through how we came to that.
The percentage is also a response to anticipated income. That we looked at what has in the past been received, looked at some of the numbers of churches that have separated and gone, looked at that impact on the first number, and guessed, quite frankly, what the impact of 2025 would be with churches that are facing some different financial realities. And looking at those numbers, we arrived at the 11%. Did that help?
Thank you. That does help. Thank you for answering that.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Other questions? I'm looking around the room here at microphone number 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. Good afternoon. Reginald Lee, clergy person, Hartsville District. Bishop, I'm not an accountant, but I do want to get some clarity about the CF&A report. Does this report in any way reflect distribution of funds received as the result of 2024 churches leaving under paragraph 2549?
Reverend Lee, it's my understanding that the funds received through that paragraph are not distributed by CF&A, but are given and handled and controlled by the Conference Board of Trustees to give to some groups. In the past, Board of Trustees has given a grant to CF&A. That $800,000 rebate is a part of that grant given.
All right, and am I to understand that's from 2024 closures?
No, that the original grant was given prior to the annual conference. We have received no communication at this point as to monies that will be added to the original grant.
Okay, so then those are funds received from 2023 closures?
Correct. From the
All right.
initial grant given, $2.4 million.
Thank you so much. Now, my question now, Bishop, is, so I want to be clear that none of the line items that are in the CF&A report include any funds from anticipated distributions from 2024 closures.
Let me make sure I'm understanding you. You were saying that none of the budgetary decisions were made in anticipation of income from that, and that is correct.
That is correct. All right. Then my last question, this may be out of order, Bishop, so I'm sure you'll tell me. My question becomes, when will we receive the report of suggested allocations for the 2024 funds from closure?
Okay, thank you, Reggie. I'm trying to get I'm listening to what you're saying. We're up here trying to get it together. And I think that some of that will be with the trustee report. And it'll be passed out later this afternoon.
Later this afternoon.
So you should get a copy of it.
All right, thank you, Bishop. Then one last question for point of clarity. And this kind of goes back to last year. Is this report simply information to the annual
Yes.
conference?
Exactly.
So
Yes, sir.
it is not for the annual conference in any way to have any
Right.
say in how those funds are distributed.
Okay. I think you're getting them. I think right now we're dealing with the CFA report.
Okay.
And you're getting the trustee CFA sort of mixed together.
I can hold it. I'll come
Okay.
back.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, Reggie. We're trying to help you. Thank you, sir. All right. Other questions? Okay, right here, microphone number 8, please.
Austin Lippert, clergy, Columbia District. And this may be a question that should go to the trustees, I'm not sure, but I don't see on the budget any line item that allocates money for attorney's fees for the churches that are now suing the conference.
I think the same comment I just made to Reggie, that's gonna be in the trustee
Okay.
report.
Thank you, sir.
But thank you so much. You all were doing well in trying to help us. Thank you. Okay. We're in the back, microphone number, is it 8? Okay, you got a little way to walk there. Microphone number 8.
Thank you, Bishop. This is Mike Bowers. retired elder, Spartanburg District. It was announced earlier, and we celebrated the payments of apportionments, and I want to ask a question. If you take the full amount that was paid, it does look like there was 91.35% received. But if you remove from that figure, the amount paid by closed churches that will not repeat in 2025, the percentage is actually 81%. Am I right?
That's correct, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, are there other questions? Want to make sure that each question you have a chance to ask. All right, microphone 8 again.
I'm George Howe, the Columbia District Union Church.
Yeah, look like microphone 8 gonna be the hot spot.
Please repeat your name for the recording secretaries.
I'm George Howe. I'm Columbia District Union Church. And online, I can't see that far now. But under benevolence, you got $31,000 for the request, was 31,000 less than you gave them. And when I look back on report 8, it's on line 29, and that good went up 29,000. And I don't see, I was wondering the reason for the increase above the request.
I am so sorry that I did not hear the particular area that you were addressing. Can you speak
Yeah,
right into the...
what we're having trouble with, sir, is that you keep stooping down and then picking up the paper, and we can't hear you when you stoop down.
Oh, okay.
I guess stoop is a word, isn't it?
Yeah.
All
On
right.
the line 7.
Line 7?
Of the budget.
Okay. So you were addressing conference benevolences.
Yes, and the request was $1,510,000, and the recommending was $1,541,000.
The conference benevolences funding, is, if you read the details of report number 8, contains subdivisions of ministries. Some of those ministries are noted as particular emphasis of the annual conference. And it is in those places that funding was added. So I want to send you to report number 8 to see the breakdown of some of those areas and see that some of those areas are particular places: leadership development, ministry with young people, working with local churches, particularly in ethnic diversity, training the leadership of laity. There were some places in this line item where the request was held down, and we said, we want you to be able to do this important ministry that we have identified as an annual conference as an emphasis. And so we replace some funds into it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and thank you so much. I like the way you brought your material. Brought it right with you. Any other questions? All right, I don't see any. So thank this team for their report and for the work they'll be prepared to do for us on Wednesday. Thank you.